Hello, this is Ken Scott Barron, and the podcast today is on white nationalism and patriotism. So, politicians are trying to use a distorted idea of patriotism and a distorted definition of nationalism to whitewash white nationalists and white nationalism. White supremacy, white nationalism, and white terror were fundamental to the creation of the America. These facts don't change because they make some uncomfortable or others angry. No one has the power to change a yesterday. This current impulse to wish it away, to bend the books, to pressure the teachers, to alter the language, to muddy the waters isn't the answer, and it's insulting. Take the case of Republican Senator from Alabama, Tommy Tuberville. When asked if he believes white nationalists should be allowed in the military, his answer was, quote, "Well, they call them that. I call them Americans." But the definition of white nationalism, a decades-old term, isn't up for debate or a varied interpretation because Webster's dictionary defines it as, quote, "one of the group of militant white people who espouse white supremacy and advocate enforced racial segregation," end quote. It's not the first time that a prominent Republican has tried, particularly on the subject of race, to reduce fact to opinion, to convert the absolute into a matter of partisan interpretation. Nationalism is cast simply as profound patriotism. They might say to their comments that they had nothing to do with race, and that to suggest otherwise is itself racist. But in this stew of adulterated meanings, quote, white nationalists get conflated with being a white patriot and allows any suggestion of racism to become an as-person cost or white nationalists without a cause. Ryan Walters, the superintendent of public schools in Oklahoma, was asked how teaching students about the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, you may be familiar with this, how could this be done without violating the state's ban on teaching what he calls critical race theory? He said, quote, "They did this for a reason, but to say it was inherent because of their skin is where I say that is critical race theory. You're saying that race defines a person," end quote. The facts. White racists attacked and destroyed Black communities in Tulsa, and it was called the Greenwood District, and that community was attacked because it was Black. In US history, racism was preached in church, law enforcement was part of the racial terror, elected officials championed resistance to racial equality, and Black people sold and sent postcards of lynchings. I'm sorry, that's some people sold these postcards. And the rising popularity of hate groups today is due in part to the mainstreaming of white nationalist ideas. Here at the National Association of Black and White Men Together, we are firm in beliefs that anti-racism should be practiced, that racism should be challenged, and particularly white supremacy should be challenged. Please come to our website, that's nabwmt.org. We are on Facebook and Twitter, and now on other platforms. Thank you for listening. This is Ken Barron with the National Association of Black and White Men Together.